All right, guys, we are back. If you are watching the recording right now, skip in about a minute or two until I start talking. I was having some technical difficulties with the audio on the last go, so we should be good to go, but just wait about another minute or two. All right, guys, that's good to know that we are back. That's my fault. I usually do an audio check in the beginning to make sure you guys can hear me, but I didn't, so that is my fault. We'll get started in a second. I was like talking for like 5 minutes straight there before I even saw the chat, so it's my fault though. Smash that like button, guys. Make sure you smash that like button. It's the first weekly outlook of the year. Send the link out, guys, to your friends or anybody that was watching it. We'll get started again in a minute here. All right, guys, let's go ahead and actually get started. This is the second go around. That's my apologies. I accidentally forgot to press the unmute button the first go around. So welcome to the first weekly outlook of the year, guys. I hope you all had a great end to your 2019. I hope you guys have set some good goals and are already taking some action on your goals. Like the message in Telegram said, and this is customary if you've been in or traditional if you've been in the Telegram since 2016 or any amount of time. I usually don't trade the last couple days and in the first couple days of each year. So last week, that's why I didn't do a weekly outlook, but I have set a goal for this year. I plan on not missing a single weekly outlook. I will let you guys know right now, I am going to miss one on the 26th of January. So this month, the 26th. So I'm actually going to do 51 out of 52 weekly outlooks this year. And the reason is I won't physically be able to. I'm going to be on a 10-day meditation retreat in Washington in the wilderness and won't have like my phone or anything like that, or computer, or any technology whatsoever for 10 days. So with the exception of that, going to be doing 51 out of 52. I saw in the chat on the last live, like 5 minutes ago when I first tried this, that a lot of you guys put a lot of nice comments in there. A lot of you guys set some nice goals, and you guys are all ready for 2020. So I was saying also before I realized that I had you guys muted that I am planning on bringing stepping up my content game for you guys. And providing a ton of free content this year, guys. I want to just really get back on my content game. I spent a lot of time last year offline working on a lot of projects offline. And now that I'm not working on a lot of those projects anymore or finished them, I'm ready to get back to the online content, okay? But let's talk a little bit about the markets, guys. Make sure you have something to take some notes with. I have a lot of value to throw your guys' way. A lot of like what I would call quote unquote easy money, right? I never like to use the word easy because you have to respect the market, but you know, sometimes the market, there is definitely, arguably, there are weeks that are easier to trade than other weeks. And I think this week is going to be easier just because of what we have going on politically. And one of those things, if you guys, hopefully you weren't sleeping under a rock, I'm sure all of you guys know about it. But over the weekend, we saw President Trump in the States send some airstrikes out in the Middle East and Iran, and one of those airstrikes killed a very high or infamous political, or not political, military leader in Iran, and that sparked a lot of controversy and debate. And that's one of the reasons why, when you look at the 1 hour chart here on gold, this is the 1 hour, the only hour. Well, this is now the second hour that gold has been open, but you can see the first hour here shot up $40. So went up from 1550, where it was consolidating around before or at the end of last week, and went up to 1590. So a $40 spike. Now it's back down to 1569. So yeah, we'll get back into that, but let's go ahead and look at the economic calendar first. Okay, so this week there's not a whole lot going on, right? Just to bear in mind, it's only January 5th, maybe January 6th for some of us watching this, or later if you're watching the recording. I'm just talking if you're watching this live right now. The banks and the market is just kind of waking up from the holidays, right? This is the first full week. This is gonna be the first full week since the holidays that the banks are not closed. Okay, and so there's not a whole lot this week. The one thing I do want to point out is Friday. Okay, we have non-farm payrolls, infamous non-farm payrolls. This happens to be that you will notice. You know, I always say this, that it's, or have not always, but I've mentioned this a lot in the past, that sometimes non-farm payrolls does not land on the first Friday, right? So this actually happens to be the second Friday, right? January 10th, because the first Friday would be January 3rd. But there, I think, what, banks were closed, or no, banks weren't not open. It just didn't happen on Friday. Just occasionally it doesn't happen on the first Friday. So we see this Friday non-farm payrolls happening. So that rare occasion it happens on the second Friday of the month, but we can expect the December numbers to come out on Friday. So just be aware of those numbers. Other than that, there's a couple red folders, high impact news throughout the rest of the week, but nothing too crazy, no interest rate decisions or anything like that. But I do have my eye on a couple of setups. Okay. I do want to do a very quick recap. Okay. So the last time, just to recap, everybody, if you're new here, welcome, by the way. I have a free Telegram with over 1,000 people in it that I've been running since 2016 that you can join completely for free. The link is in the description. That's where I'm going to be posting the more content. I'll be posting more content on YouTube too, but Telegram is kind of like my go-to. A lot of traders use Telegram. I'm also considering in the very near future, next couple of days here, in the next week here, opening up a free Discord. So it'd be like a free public Discord that, you know, everybody can share stuff in. I'll be sharing stuff in there too. If you guys like that idea, you know, like the video, leave a comment. Anyways, okay, so let's do a little bit of a recap. Okay, so you don't even have to take my word for this. You can literally just even stop watching right now, come back to this live in a couple minutes. I'll still be talking to you. You can go and go and watch the recording from December, what would it be, December 22nd, in even the one before that, December 15th, the one before that, December 8th. If you watch any of the most recent webinars that I did when gold was down in this area where my cursor is all the way down at 1470, guys, I have been telling you guys bullish on gold, nothing but buying on gold. And I've told you guys, I mean, none of the marks on the chart are new. In fact, it's so old that even look at this Fibonacci, this fib right here, I have to remove that because this is no longer the highest high anymore. Where we are, we're currently in the process of making higher highs as we speak. So it's irrelevant to even have a retracement level on that time frame or that big of one, in my opinion. But you can go and look at the recording from any of the weekly outlooks I did in December. All of these lines have been here. I've been talking about the main focus has been this wedge on gold, right? And just talking about this wedge. And I'm telling you guys right now, okay, if you guys were here last year, this time last year, I told you guys gold would break the multi-year highs, which at the time we were all the way down here, but the multi-year highs were right here, this light blue zone, which is currently 1375. Okay, we broke that June of 2019. Okay, so like 7 months ago ish, we broke that. We've been above there since. I told everybody last time, or this year, or last time year, sorry, getting tongue tied right there. This time last year that gold would go to 1500, 1600. Here we are. And another thing, trading view, but it's not letting me scroll. Let me just try using my mouse here. I'll just use my mouse instead of my trackpad. Another thing I just want to point out on gold. Okay, not one direction, 1 day. Go to the 1 day chart on gold. 1 day. Let's go to 1 week. Okay, one thing I want to point out on gold is that at the beginning of every year, gold tends to have a rally. Okay, so this year is already following suit because it's January 5th. Gold has had a major rally. So we'll get into like the lower time frame in just a moment. But this is just something I want to point out so you guys can utilize. If you missed the big rally on gold this year, you can, I mean, it's still going to keep going, guys. Gold is going to go over 2,000 this year. I'm telling you guys. But what I mean is like, it's going to, even no matter where gold is at, the beginning of every year should, if the trend continues to follow, should continue pushing. But you look at every single year. So here's the beginning of 2019, push on gold. It went from 1280 up to 1350. Look at the beginning of 2018. It went from 1275 up to 1350. Look at the beginning of 2017. It went from 1150 range all the way up to 1250. Look at the beginning. You guys get the picture, right? Beginning of 2016, beginning of 2015, beginning of 2014, beginning of I don't know about 2013. Maybe there's a small route. You can obviously see it drops in 2013, but 2014 to 2019, 5 years. So that's pretty nice to see. So that's just confluence, right? When we use the word confluence, that's just added, a little added piece of evidence of why I bought gold, or why I was bullish on gold, why I bought gold. But either way, gold rallied. And if you go back to any of the webinars from last month that I put, they were all free weekly outlooks. And I've only focused on a couple of pairs, guys. Like if you notice the past weekly outlooks that I've done for the past like 2-3 months or so, I'm not going over 10 different pairs. I focused on literally like gold, USD CAD, which we'll get into in a moment, pound yen, which we'll get into in a moment. And I have fresh trade ideas too, but on these pairs too. But yeah, I'm just also doing a recap since I haven't seen you guys in a few weeks. But yeah, none of this is made up. And I'm not trying to sit here and brag and boast, guys. I'm just trying to like help you guys with, I know a lot of people get caught up. You follow like a million different groups. You don't know. The thing with trading is there's like so much information. A lot of people get overwhelmed. So I think a lot of people can do really well with trading if they are very careful of the information that they put into their head, because it's valuable information that you get, but you don't want to have misinformation. That's the bad thing, because if you build bad habits, it's a bad thing. So yeah, this is just to show you guys that I'm showing you guys the real stuff, and I'm not bullshitting here. You can go back and look at my recordings. I'm not saying this after the fact that I claim to call it. I you can go watch the recordings, and I wasn't hesitant either. I was very clear, very biased to the upside on gold since the end of November. I mean, ever since it's been bouncing around this green zone here and stuck in this range. Okay. So anyways, enough of that. So where are we at with gold now, right? Obviously, we just talked about the 1 hour. It is crazy volatile right now, right? Moving up $40 in 1 hour. Like these are not typical market conditions. Okay. So my recommendations is, if you have not made any money on the most recent $100 push that I called and have been calling for a month, then I would not chase gold. It is going to keep going. I'm telling you guys, gold is going to go up to $2,000 this year. Okay. Some people think I'm crazy. People were calling me crazy last year when I said that gold was going to go up to 1,500, 1,600. And at the time, for the past 3 years, we hadn't seen gold go above 1375. Everybody, there were people your fair share of people that were talking shit and hating for saying outlandish, crazy things like that. But I'm telling you right now, it's gonna go to 2,000. And I did not, by the way, I did not say 2,000. You guys go and look at. I think there's a post in Telegram from December 11th that I said that gold was going to 2,000. Okay, you can go look at it right now. So I didn't just like see everything that Trump decided to bomb Iran this weekend, and all of a sudden I'm hopping on the weekly outlook. Oh, it's going to go to 2,000. No, like guys, I'm not irrational like that. I'm not like jumping to conclusions just because of one little thing, right? Okay, I have my reasonings as to why. And I mean, I could sit here for an hour just talking about gold as to why, right? I'm already kind of stretching it. So things, but yeah, so gold I think is going to probably I mean, it just depends. Either the news is going to get crazy and Trump is going to get crazy on Twitter and gold is going to keep flying. That's a chance. But there is going to be a point where gold is going to hit some resistance and it's not just going to keep going up to the moon, and it is going to have a strong correction. And that would be a much better time to get in if you haven't already gotten in or holding a position on gold. But other than that, I mean, if you want to scalp on the small time frames, if you see like some little flags on like the 15-minute, 5-minute here and there, I mean, I wouldn't do it like right now, but as this week progresses and we see it's been, we've definitely seen, that's what I've done this past week. There's been some nice little opportunities to buy gold. There's been some good little flags where it'll pop up. Like, even though these moves look so tiny right now, it's just because I'm so zoomed out on the 1 hour, but these little 1 hour candles are like moving up $3. That's a 30 pip move on gold. So risking like $1 to make $3 on gold. So like 10 pips to make 30 pips. That's a decent trade there, and there's been some scalps in there. So that's what I'm talking about. That's what I would do. But any long-term positions on gold, I really would be careful with them because of the volatility. It could easily knock you out. So yeah, there's that. Okay. So enough of that. Okay. Let's get on to USD CAD. So I don't mean to brag or boast, just straight spitting the facts to you guys. I don't share a lot of setups, right? I share high quality setups with you guys. So I've been tracking this setup since November 26th. I've been trading USD CAD to the downside. I've been literally, like, you can go through my Telegram for the past month, and all I've talked about is gold, USD CAD, and a little bit of pound yen. Okay. That's all it's been. And if we click play here, boom. Like, I can't make this up, guys. Like, I cannot manipulate this. This is just true. This is what happened here. Okay. So boom, went to the downside very nicely, hit my target. And actually in the reason why this is relevant is because it just hit my target on New Year's Eve. Okay. So right here, I just actually updated this like less than a week ago on New Year's Eve. I said target reached. I said target 130.20 reached on New Year's Eve 2019. Nice 150 pip swing trade. Still expecting more downside, 129 then 125 before end of 2020. Okay. So the most valuable thing right here is this: 129 then 125 before 2020. Guys, I am making some crazy calls right now. Okay. But like, I've been saying 129 on you. Like, literally, guys, go into my Telegram. I've been calling 129 on USD CAD since this time. Since November, since we were up here, since even before that, like beginning of November, even when we were climbing in this area, my overall vision for USD CAD was this long-term downside, which is what we're getting right now. You can see the true trend is to the downside, and it has been for a while. Look at USD CAD for a while. It's been trending down for a while, since the beginning of 2019. So all of last year, we were in a downtrend. You could call this a little sideways, but we were consistently making lower lows. We're making a lower low as we speak right now. So yeah, my target is 129. Expecting USD CAD to go lower. I saw in the 4 hour, it's got a really nice bear flag that it's actually got an engulfing candle on right now. So we're probably going to see something similar to this. And what I mean similar is some pretty quick, limited upside, limited corrections, a lot of impulsive moves on the smaller time frames down to 129. That's my opinion. Okay. So this is a great trade this week, guys. Okay. I'm telling you guys, like, you don't have to get caught up on a million different setups, a million different trades, a million different group signals, this, that, left, right, getting 5 pips here, 10 pips here. Like, that's fine. But in my opinion, it's very overwhelming trading a lot of pairs and having to watch a lot of pairs. So if you guys have seen my style, I literally only look at a few pairs. Like this week, and not all of these are pairs, right? The dollar index, I don't trade that, right? Oil, I don't trade that, right? The only reason I have these marked off is because I use oil to trade USD CAD. I use the dollar index to trade Euro USD, right? Euro yen is new, so I rarely trade that so literally the past month, I've had Euro USD, gold, pound yen, and USD CAD on my plate. So 4 pairs for an entire month to keep me busy. I made over 1,000 pips last month, right? Verified. You can go look at my FX book. Go look at it. Dissect it. You can see over 1,000 pips last month. Finished off the year with a little bit over 30% or 36% gain. So not amazing, not where not. I wanted to be closer to the 40-ish range, low 40s. So a little bit off my target, right? My yearly target is 42%, but to be 6% off, that's pretty good. In that traditional investments, if you're invested in like a 401k or a retirement fund, index fund, something like that, that's outperforming your investment. So, but yeah, USD CAD, look for some pretty strong impulsive moves, similar to what we've seen the past week, down to 129. It should keep going. Okay. That's what I'm looking at getting into this week. Pound yen. So pound yen, I'm expecting strength this week on the yen. Okay. So pound yen, I am expecting weakness on. Euro. That's why I have both euro yen and pound yen marked off. Okay. I actually scalped a little bit of pips. I think like 100. No, not 100. Wait. No. For like 40 pips off of pound yen on Friday. When the candle opened, so it was actually Thursday still. We had a nice bear. If any of you guys saw that last week, very, very nice bearish engulfing candle close on the daily. And it's not like I just look at the candle and then take the trade, right? I look at the big thing I look at is the fundamentals, the political side, or like the politics of trading, right? So I look at what the safe havens are doing, right? And I remember, of course, obviously I'm bullish on gold. I was expecting gold to rise. I was buying gold and scalping gold to the upside all last week. So we know that the yen is a safe haven also. So it only makes sense to capitalize on selling pound yen, right? Because we're expecting the Japanese yen, which is a safe haven currency, to strengthen also. So sure enough, it did. And I'm expecting it to strengthen some more. So on the weekly, we have a nice bearish candle. And a good target for this week would be somewhere around the 50 EMA on the weekly, which is going to be around 139.40. So that's almost exactly 200 pips lower than where we are. So I think pound yen has a nice 200 pip move to the downside. I know right this second, it doesn't look like it. And in fact, I would not recommend shorting right this second, because I think it could climb a little bit. And even like this climb from here to here is like a 60 pip climb. But I don't think we're going to move above the weekly pivot point. Okay. So that's also, by the way, if you don't know what these lines are, the smaller lines are the daily pivot points, and the bigger lines are the weekly pivot points. And this magenta line is the weekly pivot point. So I don't think we're going to go above the weekly pivot point. If we do, it's going to be short-lived, but that would definitely be the better area. Between the today's daily pivot point and the weekly pivot point would be a much better shorting opportunity. But yeah, as we get into London and New York session, like 24 hours from now, we're probably going to see pound yen down in somewhere in like the 140s, like 140.80, 140.60, something like that. Okay. That's just my call. Okay. As always, keep in mind, this is just my opinion, right? Not investment or financial advice, guys. Just my opinion, right? Just in informational and educational purposes only. Okay. So that's USD CAD. That's pound yen. Also, not to toot my own horn, but I know this is a little late. I've already mentioned this a lot, but if you guys were here around, like, this was the easiest bull flag ever. Like, I spent so much time talking about this bull flag on pound yen, guys. Like, this move up to 148, I said 148 to 150, got up to 148, not all the way up to 150, but it got up to our target. That was such an easy play. Okay. So there's been some really, really nice end of year plays on like gold, pound yen, that drop on USD CAD, things like that, right? And why is USD CAD dropping? Because of oil, right? I've been telling you guys, oil is bullish, right? Back before it was above $60, where we're now almost at $64 a barrel, right? When we were at 68, 69, we had a lot of resistance in this area. I predicted this. I said we're going to break out of this area and we're going to be bullish. We're going to go above $60. Boom, here we are. How can I bullshit calling that if I'm in a sell and give a major sell position on USD CAD, right? Keep that in mind. USD CAD cannot go down or will not go down long term if oil is going up, right? Why would I be selling USD CAD and then be bearish on oil? Makes no sense, right? I have to be bullish on oil to be bearish on USD CAD, right? So yeah, everything is moving. It's really nice. As we move into the beginning of this year, everything's moving exactly as expected. Exactly as expected. Even Euro USD, guys. So I'm going to keep it really, really simple for you guys, okay? For all of you guys out there that need some help with Euro USD, okay? I'm going to keep it really, really simple. Two things, okay? First thing, pay attention to the weekly channel that we've been in since 2018. Okay, you can go set up a trading view account for free, I'm assuming. And I mean, if you aren't using trading view, I don't know what you're using. I mean, I'm not going to judge you. You might even be using something better than I am, maybe something I've never even heard of. So I'm not going to sound ignorant, but trading view is a really nice platform. So if you're on trading view, there's a really nice tool called the regression trend. Basically, it just gets you a channel, okay? And you can draw your channel, or you can do it however you want. You can you can draw your trend lines. You can draw your trend lines or however you want. If you want to draw like a support line and a resistance line on here, and just have something like this, right? If that's easier for you, let's copy and paste that, and then just paste that down here, right? If you just want to have that rather than that, whatever is easier, but pay attention to that channel, okay? Okay, so that channel on the bigger spectrum. So when we get above that channel, we're buying. Okay, we're almost above that channel. You can really see we're getting there. Okay, we're almost outside the channel. But what's even more important is this green zone. Okay, and this is basically the 111 area. Okay, so if you take a box, if you just draw a box and you have like 111 in the middle, and then you maybe go like 10 pips above 111 and like 10 pips below 111, and it matches up, right? It's not just because of the price, it's because of, well, I'll just kind of briefly mark off everything. So this is like what started it, like back in back earlier this year, or last year, still saying this year. And then right here, and right here, and then right here, right here, right here. Some general consolidation on here, but I think you guys get the picture. And this is subjective at the end of the day, right? I think everybody's eyes see different things, right? Maybe some of you guys are looking at this and like, I don't see what you're looking at. Hopefully you see, because I drew it out, but this is all I have to say. If you want to make your life really simple on Euro USD, draw this out, this 111 area. So it's basically 111 in your mind or on your paper or whatever you're tracking your stuff on. And if we're above this area, buying. If we're below this area, selling. It's that simple. Okay. Euro USD is going to rise this year. Okay. I mean, maybe the whole year, but I don't know the whole year, but it's going to rise. It's going to break out of this channel. Okay. It's going to break out of this channel. The dollar index is going to fall, okay, as it already is falling. Like if this is another thing, this is one of the reasons why I know Euro USD is going to drop, because look at what the dollar index is doing. It's already dropping, right? There's very, very, very little support left on the dollar index, right? You can see the past couple of weeks, buyers doing everything they can. Look at these wicks to keep price up, but sellers are just inching lower and lower. Look, the candles, the weekly closes continue to get lower and lower. Okay, we've also moved below the 50 EMA, right? Also, just another thing, I'm just going to briefly moment. Okay, I'm not going to get into it because I know this is already kind of getting a little long and I still have some stuff to talk about. But if you guys haven't checked the COT report recently for Euro USD, all right, the large speculators in the commercials tell the story of what's going on, right? Commercials are currently net long, right? While large speculators are net short, right? I'm going to have a lot of interest in buying Euro USD and really going heavy on the buys as soon as our commercials have gone net short and our large speculators have gone net long, right? And we saw, remember for a while, this was like, oh no, this is 2016. Okay, I would need to scale in, but okay, this would have been I don't know, earlier this year, we started to see the commercials start to drop, but you know, we still see them above the 0 mark. So interesting spot, but I'm telling you guys, this Euro USD has a big play to the upside coming because the dollar index is going to drop. Gold is going to keep going through the moon this year to 2000. But for this week, you know, if you're just here for the, you know, you aren't listening to me, you don't care about the long stuff, you don't care about where the real money is, all right? And I'm telling you, that's where the real money is, the longer trades. But if all you care about is just here for the quick little money, I still got some love for you too. Okay, pound yen is going to drop this week. Also euro yen. I'm not the biggest fan of taking a trade on the euro right now, just because I want to buy euro USD, right? So I would prefer the yen. Also, everything with Boris Johnson. I mean, we've almost seen a full retracement since the announcement of Boris Johnson actually winning. Or, I'm sorry, not Boris Johnson. No, yeah, Boris Johnson winning. But it's made a full retracement, pretty much 100% retracement back to where we were prior to the election. But I think we're going to continue to drop from here. That's usually what we see. That's usually what we see, a full retracement and then continuing to move past these major events, okay? So, and with all the political craziness going on, yeah, we should see the yen do well this week. And USD CAD, although it is low, it's going to keep going. It's going to keep going, okay? Like I said, it shouldn't have much upside. We should see something similar to this, some strong downside, limited upside down to 129. Okay, let me look at the chat real quick. How would I fib out gold on the monthly? Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Monthly, let's go ahead and take a look at gold. So this is what I would do. Okay, so let me kind of update gold a little bit for you guys. Let me kind of help you guys out here. So this is no longer relevant for me. I'm going to move this to 16. 15 is going to stay. 1550 is going to stay. 16 is definitely staying. And 1650 will come if we break 1600. Okay. So yeah, that's where we're at. I use the $50 levels as generally targets when I'm already in a trade. So for example, like when I was in a buy last week in scalping 1500, I wasn't expecting it to stop until it got up to 1500, and then it would stop for a little bit. So we go and we look at the charts. It did actually, so it broke 1500. It did stop for a little bit, went up to 1513. Also, just so you know, if you're listening to this and you sold gold and you held and for any big trades around here, I'm sorry, but you're just an idiot. And I'm sorry that you didn't listen to my weekly outlook or just weren't using common sense that gold goes up at the end of the year and the beginning of the year. So gold has been bullish. I think it's just silly seeing anybody. I just see random people sometimes calling trades on gold, and they're all the way up there, trying to pick the top. And that's just guys, when will you learn with gold, especially with gold, you don't try to pick the top or the bottom. You don't. You trade the trend. That's where the money is made on really volatile things like gold. Okay. So gold continued to go, but you can see it on the 1 hour here. There we go. You can see it really nicely on the 1 hour. Look at it. Look how 1450 was it was like a wall. It had so much momentum and then crept up and up and then just completely stopped. So, and you can even see down here, look down here, look at 1500, see where it stopped? 1500. So that's why I have it here. I mostly use, so that's a little insight on why I put the $50 levels there, is I mostly use it for targets. I don't really use it for entry. I mostly use it as an entry or an exit method. Okay, exit strategy is what the $50 is used for me. But yeah, gold should see some nice moves. But anyways, how would I fib out on the monthly? So I have the monthly out. Gold on the monthly, I don't really look at gold on the monthly too much. But if I were to fib out gold, I would be going the highs of I would be going like this. Right here. Right here. To right here. Okay, so I mean, that's going to be the major fib, okay? So that's one option. But if you're talking about maybe for trading a correction, it's hard to fib out gold because, I mean, generally you would go from like the lows to the highs, but the highs are currently being made on gold. So that's why you'd have to do something like that on the monthly, going out a little wider. There's also the option of you can do a fib extension. So for this, gold is going to be great for this. Okay, we can go from the most recent. So okay, let me just show you guys what I'm looking at with my ICs too before I start drawing things. Okay, so I see gold as in like three stages, right? What I see on the chart right here. Okay, I see this consolidation. I see a push. I see more consolidation, which is this most recent wedge we were in, and I see the most recent, right? So the most recent we're currently in, so I don't count that as one. So 1, 2, 3. That's what I see, right? And so what I would do is go from this low to this high, right? And then we're going to go down to the correction, right? And this is going to give us just some more levels of support and resistance. You know, you guys might want to be like, okay, so what am I looking at, right? Just like any other indicator that anybody shows you, right? Whether it's clouds or Bollinger Bands, whatever, EMAs, moving averages, right? There's all some sort of line that it creates, right? And that line is either respectively support or resistance. Same thing here, right? So it just gives you another something to look at. Okay, so something else to look at just for some key levels. So you can see our 100% is all the way up at 1739. And what this is basically doing, all this is really doing in short terms, right? I'm not drawing this and not knowing what this is. This is just this 100% right here. If this moved all the way up to here, that would be the same measurement as this move right here, right? So it's basically the same as taking, like, if you were to measure from all the way down here to the high, right? We can go, that's like $281. And then if you go from this low up to $281, boom. We're right around there, right? Obviously, I'm very zoomed out right now, but you get the picture. So that's just showing you that's what the fib extension is, right? So I'm just showing you guys some things that I play around with, or not play around with, but use, and that you can play around with. All right, but short term, pound yen downside, pound yen downside, USD CAD downside. Okay, let me go back to the chat. What indicator is that on Trading View? Oh, let's see, 541. Oh, I'm seeing that like 13 minutes late. Which indicator are we talking about? The pivot points? Demetra, am I overall bearish on GJ? Yes, I am overall bearish on GJ. Yes, yes, yes. 100%. Oh my goodness. Yes, I'm expecting GJ should go down to like the into like the 130s, 138, 130. It should keep going down. So many hundreds of pips in the coming weeks. Oh, the regression tool. Yeah. So you're gonna find that, I think, right in here. Somewhere in here. Oh, right there. Trend line. So in the trend line tools, and then regression trend all the way at the bottom. And you can play with it a little bit. There's some, oops. There's some tolerance to the upside and the downside, but yeah, I use it. So you'll see, you actually see it on my pound yen. It looks a little weird on those time frames, but I have it on a couple things. You'll see like in these channels. I really like to use it for channels when I'm like using a channel. For me personally, this is just something I like to look at on pound yen. I like these channels that it makes. When it makes these channels, it likes to like break out. So I have these here. So I have a visual reminder that it likes to do that, right? Same reason why I was bullish on this bull flag here, right? But I think that is going to be it 4-hour fib for GJ 50% looks great for a sell. Let's see. 4-hour 50% GJ looks like great for a sell. 4-hour fib for GJ. Are you talking about Kern Z44? Are you talking about 4-hour fib for pound yen? 50% looks great for a sell. Are you talking about 50% for a target? Maybe like something like this, looking like a 50%, or maybe you're talking on like a much lower time frame, but you said 4 hours. So, or maybe are you talking about here? Wait, do this type of thing, and then wait for a 50% up to here, retracement up to like 142.50-ish, and then sell around there. Because of course, yes, that would be much better. Wait for that push up to this area. That's going to bring you right into that weekly pivot point area I was talking about, and that would be the best opportunity to sell. Yeah, I'm with that 100%. Don't sell now, because the thing is, keep in mind, guys, remember, like simple trading technique, right? Or simple market psychology, right? Is don't normally want to sell low, especially in a situation where this was our low right here. You see where we just broke this low. So this is the most logical point for the market to start moving up, right? Because everybody that is in a short position is going to be wanting to close, or not everybody, but there's a large amount of participants that are going to want to close their positions at these lows, right? Just like the same reason when, it's the same basic psychology as them wanting to sell this at the stock market higher. But guys, I am so glad that you guys came today. I apologize. I got a little sidetracked. I'm supposed to actually be somewhere in 1 minute, so I'm going to cut you guys off short, but I appreciate you guys' time. Please leave a like, and I will see you guys in Telegram. See you guys later.